Hello, welcome to Quackalope, and for me, outside of the core game box from Kingdom Death that I remember being mailed to me 2 years ago or so, and I saw it on the way home, this is the next most iconic box that I have received in the mail. I was walking up to my apartment, Jan, and Cassidy can attest to this. I was walking up to my apartment, saw it from the distance, and started dancing, skipping, hopping up the stairs, like freaking out. Had a handful of groceries and still wanted to take it with me so that it would never go away. Today we are unboxing and doing an overview video of Awakened Realms Tainted Grail.
Oh yeah, I'm super pumped for this. This is going to be awesome.
I've had the chance to play our friend Matt's copy of this game. I've played it once, so I'm familiar with what is inside this box. Sort of. I've seen the first scenario. And then I had to have it. And so now I have it.
Okay. Can we just start? You're making me even more anxious than I already am. In a good way.
I'm so incredibly excited for this game. If you are not familiar with Awakened Realms or the Tainted Grail, and you are familiar with this channel, you know that I love story and theme-driven games with some interesting mechanics and components that like mix in to just tell this rich and kind of inviting story. This is a dark, sort of Seventh Continent in some ways, sort of Kingdom Death in some ways, dark world and exploration game where you're going through a narrative lore book, building up and developing a hero, playing with some incredible miniatures, and just journeying through this dark, unforgiving world and story as a solo player or with multiple people. Two things I want to address right at the front. If you've seen any of our other unboxing / overview videos, we are familiar with what is inside this box. So as we open it, we're going to have nice quality B-roll of everything, really showing off the components, but we'll also be talking about what each item does, how it incorporates into the game system as a whole. So this will be more than just a look at pretty little things video.
Yes.
Along with that, we're just doing an unboxing video because I'm so incredibly excited. We're going to have gameplay and more content coming out on this game. It'll take a little bit for us to kind of get it to the table and get fluid enough with it that we don't make mistakes as we're playing through. But this is just the beginning. So if you are a fan of Awakened Realms, if you're a fan of this channel or these story-driven epics, we're building Quackalope around games like this to some large degree. So please, go ahead and subscribe, stay tuned, stay connected, let us know what you'd like to see. Leave a comment down below talking about what, types of videos you want to see coming out around this game and the expansion content that's coming down the road.
Wait, I'm getting a message. I'm getting a message from beyond the camera.
Okay.
It's the audience saying to shut up and start unboxing this game.
I hear what you're saying, Jan. I hear what you're saying. I hear what the audience is saying.
I'm in your field, guys.
Yeah. Let us know what you want to see. There's going to be so much more coming. Can we do it? Yes! Okay, first off, we left this big core box because it's iconic and because the packaging in here
is really tight. It's awesome.
Okay, so we have this beautiful little
No, wait, that's a part of the game. What are you doing?
Oh yeah, great. And then we have a surprise box.
Ooh, what is that?
Here.
What is that? Are we
Let's
gonna
go
open
ahead.
that?
Let's dive in.
Okay.
Let's get rid of this top. So, all the padding you could ever want. I mean, this is so nice. We have the Monsters of Avalon.
All the minis!
Yeah, so this is going to be all of the different miniatures. We will open those up in a second. You've probably already seen some B-roll of them. Another ridiculous amount of packaging.
Oh my gosh. Oh, can I lift this? Wow.
Oh, and there's something
still more.
There's something down here at the bottom.
Oh, what is this?
So cool.
Ooh.
I didn't even know that was there.
What is
I'm
that?
taking out the last piece just to see. Okay, that's it.
Oh, it's like it's a journal
notebook where you can keep track of everything.
Oh, that is sweet.
I had no idea that was at the bottom of the box.
Whoa! Is there like a mysterious other object in there?
I just checked.
This is really nice.
I don't see anything else. Okay, so we're starting with a really pretty, just gold
Look at the embossing. Love it.
Notebook, just journal to keep track of everything.
Yeah, the nice thing is, it's like it feels that you found it somewhere.
I'm never gonna write in this.
That's true.
I'm never gonna do it. What do we want to start with? Core game or this surprise box? What are you thinking?
I think we should leave the surprise for the end to keep
Leave the surprise for the end?
Yeah, to keep them hooked.
Okay. All right. They're not going to stay hooked, but I like the theory. Okay, so we're going to set these off to the side just a little bit. Let's go ahead and pull this core game into the center.
Ooh.
Beautiful artwork.
Oh, yeah, love it.
We have just this visceral image here in the front, a burning sword, with some bodies and everything piled up beneath it, and then this guy.
The Menhirs.
Yeah, these are the torches, the beacons you have to keep lit throughout your journey.
Such a cool concept.
I mean, they expose the landscape until they dim again, and you're trying to time it so you don't run out of time.
Yeah.
In a way. Let's flip this to the back. Take a look at what's on the back here, and let's go ahead and cut a seam here in the corner. And like always, we will be respectfully quiet. That saran wrap had a ripping sound.
Very satisfying.
No, like high quality saran wrap as well. Okay. Tainted Grail is a story-rich survival and exploration game for 1 to 4 players set in a dark universe that blends Arthurian legends and Celtic mystery with a unique dark vision. Each player controls one of 4 unlikely heroes who must face impossible odds where stronger and wiser champions have failed, chased by the encroaching, twisted power of the Wyrdness. Fighting an uphill battle against depleting resources and challenging encounters, the characters set out to achieve the impossible and die many times in the process.
Normal.
A system of story triggers lets players see the long-term consequences of their actions, while a deep, branching storyline allows them to tackle problems in different ways, ensuring no 2 games play alike. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh,
okay.
And I just noticed this in the corner. I'm gonna make a public statement right now. We got this reviewer's opinion slated down here with some good friends of ours. Board Game Coffee. Nice to see you guys on there. Quackalope. Not there.
On the next print run, right?
Not
That's
there.
what I heard.
I'm thinking the next few games. Awaken Realms. I just want to throw that out there.
It's true. It's the true way moving forward.
You know,
Quack, quack.
there's some love that could be made.
Oh, yeah. Are we ready?
I'm so excited.
Are you ready for that box? F-A-R-T?
I'm so excited.
Do it. There it is. There's the F-A-R-T. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Okay, nice quality box.
Ooh.
Nice lid. We'll set this down to the side. At the top, we have a Start Here guide, which I've heard is pretty useful.
Yeah, it is.
In terms of breaking down what's in the box. We're already kind of familiar, so we're going to set that off to the side. We have the rulebook, which comes directly after the Start Here guide. This is going to break down the structure, the mechanics of the game. It is a bit of a heavier game.
Yeah.
But not that heavy.
It's not horrible.
There's some mechanics like the battling, and the negotiation process. Those take a little bit of finagling.
Yeah.
But it's more of a hard game in terms of challenge than a complex game in terms of like learning.
Which is themed, right?
Yes.
It's part of
100%.
the whole world.
So we have about 22 pages here in the rulebook, some beautiful art and illustrations. Set that over to
there's
the side.
the meat.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, this is the stuff that you know I'm just a big fan of. This is going to be the storybook or the journal. This will dictate everything that happens throughout your experience in the Tainted Grail. This has story triggers, choose your own adventure mechanics. It has actually a lot of hidden information.
Yeah.
Where you're using special coins to unlock and tell different information. We're not going to be able to spoil anything.
Yeah.
Because
no spoilers here, guys.
So I'm not going to stop and read through anything. I actually don't know the story well enough. I've only played that first scenario. But this is just full of flavor and lore and text and everything I love in these type of games. These symbols that you see popping up are where you're going to be placing coins in order to hopefully solve sort of a math puzzle or a number puzzle, kind of like unlocking a secret code that leads you to a page in the book that then tells and talks a little bit more about different lore and story and options that you have.
Ah, so pretty.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Exploration journal.
Next, we have 4 little written pieces of text, and I want to like sleeve these immediately. These are like handwritten letters from each major character in this journey, and these are hardcore flavor text.
Yeah.
These are the letters and notes that...
Well, actually, it's not just flavor text.
No, what is it?
There is an indication of what to do as well. It's a hint. This gives you the very first hint you need to start your adventure with. So it makes it an actual document that you will implement into the game, which is super cool.
Okay, you know what I'm going to do.
Read.
Which character do you want?
I think one of my favorites is either Bior or Maggot.
All right, you choose.
Let's do Maggot. Maggot's cool.
Read a little bit of flavor text. I'm gonna set the others off to the side. I'm sorry, guys. This video at the end of the day is just for me.
Okay, so I loathe to write to you, Maggot. Yet, if you have received this message, it means I am dead. You were right. The sagas of old are true, and our island once belonged to a twisted, immortal power. Arthur, the first of the kings, subdued this realm inch by inch. With his knights and his armies, he took the Grail from the Four Dwellers, and it used to bring seasons and cycles known from our world into this godless place. You druids always told us the Menhir in our village was created to immortalize this, but now I know the truth. It was created to keep these ancient powers out, to anchor this island to the world of mankind. Well, you all have failed. Now the granaries stand empty. The spring won't come, and the Menhir in our village darkens by the day. I admit, I wanted to flay every druid until I discovered the reason, but Priestess Nianti claims you had nothing to do with it. That's why I gathered 5 of our best people. I'm leading them east to find help in Camelot before it's too late. Before the land fragments and sinks into the Wyrdness. I did not ask you to join my retinue, because as much as I dislike druids, a man who betrayed even them seemed like a poor bet. Still, if we failed, I have no one else to trust. Rise, Maggot. Do what you can to save this land. This is my final wish. Lord Yvain.
I want to read all of them.
Not today, not in this video.
But it's so good.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
It's so
Also,
cool.
we don't want to spoil it for everybody.
But Jan,
it's like their very first kind of step into the world.
do we have to keep unboxed? Can we just play?
Yes.
Okay, we have little sheets of paper with the map on it.
Oh yeah,
it
this
seems
is the map
that indicate everything. Mm-hmm. It seems like if you wanted, you could like make notes and stuff, but I think these are mainly to hand out to each one of the players.
And also, they give you an idea of where to move next.
Yeah.
Like, I think we start right here in Konachat. This is our little village. And from there, we start moving. And as we explore, I think we actually get to see these landmarks. So this is...
you start discovering what this is.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Fall of Avalon save sheet. This is going to be the mechanic that allows you to get back into the game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like any of the storytelling, kind of campaign-driven games, you need something like this to pull
keep
it
track
back
and
out
know
of the
what's
box.
happening. Mm-hmm.
Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. If you're playing a single campaign, it's pretty easy to pull it back out onto the table. If you're restarting from scratch every single time or trying to refresh a save that you had 6 months ago, it takes a little bit more hand management, card management to pull it, but it is totally possible. So depending on how you want to address it, like this actually works.
Yeah.
Good to know.
And then Niam.
We have Niam. This is a Kickstarter character. So a awesome figure that we can kind of pull out and play.
Yeah, I know.
She slots into any of the different character boards, and each character has a role, just like an RPG system. There's traits that exist, right? So the druid and the barbarian, like those sort of archetypes structurally are there. She could be any of them.
And the cool thing about this is that there's kind of like a deck building or like set building aspect to this, because you can take different traits of each character and merge them together. And she actually has her own set of cards, which is really neat.
So next here.
Ooh, the player boards.
How do I get them out?
Right, just like that.
Oh,
careful.
All right, going to open up those player boards.
Yeah,
now these are super cool.
Yeah, these are so nice.
Here's a knife for you. Now these are super cool. The player boards themselves are double layered, so you have areas to slot in the different information that you have. But on top of that, the different characters can slot in and slot out of them. So as they expand this world, these boards become reusable resources. It's actually a really nice way to, I think, lessen the amount of production that needs to go into playable characters, because you're only ever playing with 4 characters. And usually they fit into some of these archetypes. So for instance here, this pops out, and we could go ahead and set Nehemiah down into it.
Beautiful.
On each side, you're going to have different traits that are assigned to different classes. These will be upgradable or downgradable throughout the progress of the game. They control things like your ability to chain attacks when you're battling, or your ability to spin and weave tales when you're negotiating. So things like caution, spirituality, empathy, a really simple mechanic that becomes a core feature of the game as you progress. Along with that, we have storage slots for food, wealth, reputation, experience, and magic. Those are the resources that you're managing. And then finally, I'm sorry, Jam, would you like to talk a little bit?
You're so excited. I'm just letting you move things along.
What does this do here, Jam?
So you also have trackers to keep an idea of what's going on. So you have terror. Terror is very bad. You want to keep that low. You have your health, which you want to keep very high. And then you also have your energy, which you're going to spend in order to do your actions. And then finally, after that, we have special player powers that each character is going to be able to activate depending on what they are proficient at. And finally, if we flip this the other way, we also have the startup.
It shows the setup. So each one has a custom layout, a little bit of asymmetric powers there that show what you fill in, what abilities or influence they have when they start. The really cool thing about this, and I'm sure we'll have some B-roll of this showing, there's a little marker that is a pressure point in a way that starts decreasing as you progress through the game, as you take damage or gain stress. That is such a cool mechanic.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Because your terror is fine until it goes above that. Your health is great if it's up high, but that pressure starts building if it gets down low, and your energy can never go above that meter. So it's this slowly encroaching just weight that you have to try to manage. It's such a cool mechanic. We also have Beor, Maggot, who you
My guy.
Oh, look at him. And Erev with his scythe and bundle of wheat.
They all look badass.
Oh, it's so cool. This is the guy that I took out the one playthrough that I had.
Oh, really?
Okay. Next, we come to a beautiful insert. Awakened Realms once again provides an insert to hold all of the miniatures, all of the cards. Super appreciated. I don't quite know what to pull out next. We have some baggies.
I'm really surprised you didn't go for those minis.
I know, but we got some baggies. These are going to be trackers. They go onto our board.
So the trackers specifically entail like 1 points, and then these are higher value. I think it's either 3 or 5.
Okay. These are going to be our health pressure points. So they come off and slot down. I'll show you B-roll of that, I'm sure. We have a patented bag of baggies,
which we always appreciate.
If you ever get a bag of baggies in a game, just know Quackalope's there watching out for you. I love a bag of baggies. We have our kind of quest and timer tokens. They go on different cards to indicate what's happening.
And locations too, it depends.
Across the state of the game. We have our tokens that go onto the bottom of the Menhirs. These are not only the riddle or puzzle solving component of that exploration journal, but also slot into the bottom of some of our minis, counting down time and telling us what's happening. Let's go ahead and get the rest of these cards out of here. Each one of these decks of cards are going to contain a whole variety of stuff For instance, this is going to be a diplomacy deck, which deals with, when you come into town and you have to negotiate something or resolve something that isn't violent but is strategic.
Yeah.
Here's a deck that just on the back of it says "You're going insane." I appreciate that.
I think this is based on creatures. Yeah, I think this is a combat deck too.
Okay. We have an encounter deck here.
Another encounter deck. Yeah.
Another encounter deck here.
Oh my God.
Different values here.
So
we
many
have
encounters.
revealed locations.
Ooh.
That keeps track of what you've.
And the main quest, I think, as well.
Advancement pool. That's going to be how you progress throughout the game. Another diplomacy deck there. A little bit more negotiation. And here are our combat decks. These are going to be the decks that build out your personal profile. You're playing and chaining things together in order to overcome stuff.
Yep.
It's a little bit of a confusing system for the first one.
Yeah.
And then it's really neat.
Yeah, it's super intuitive.
The
at
way
the
it
end.
chains together actually tells a really visceral story.
Yeah.
Like you see, I'm visual, right? So I'm always trying to see what's happening in the game. And after you lay out this connection of cards, you can see that you did a winding strike and then took your breath and then, caught your breath a little bit and then got damaged and then, ready to resolve again and then struck out one more time and connected. Like you can see the battle action in a sequence.
Yeah, and it's almost like a, what do you call those? It's like a battle banner or a battle quilt where you're able to actually track through the imagery that same storytelling. It's super cool.
We have a deck that says there might be good weather at some point.
Yeah.
And we have a open and play, do not shuffle this card pack.
So immediately open and shuffle.
Immediately open and shuffle,
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
Definitely. Lastly, we have a whole stack of item cards, and these just say secret.
Secrets.
So there's a lot of stuff we're going to be showing you through B-roll. We're going to be displaying kind of those battle plans and stuff. We're talking about the cards that are specific, don't shuffle, don't show, that are secret. I want to explore them myself. I'm not going to show them to you. I'm not going to open anything up. Come
Not
on,
gonna happen, sorry.
Why would that ever happen? And this is the world.
Yep, that's the map.
This is enough to cover multiples of my table.
Yeah, yes it is.
Because you lay these one on top, up top, of neck, like all just spread out. This is enough that Matt has played alone solo in his basement for many hours on end, like 50, 60 hours on end.
Oh God.
And hasn't got to all of them.
Wow, that's awesome.
So.
And also, technically, you will never be able to see them all together.
No.
Because there's not enough menhirs to go around.
That's the Seventh Continent style exploration. I really like how it dims and lights, though. You have to light a menhir in order to expose the next tiles next to it, and then as that flame goes out, hopefully you resolved what you needed, because the darkness will creep back in.
Yeah, the weirdness.
Yeah, the weirdness will creep back in, and those places are no longer accessible unless you relight, and that's a process.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It takes a lot of effort and resources and time. And, oh God.
Okay, so these are so pretty.
What? That is insane.
These are so pretty. So these are the menhirs that we've been talking about. These are what you have to keep alit. Down at the bottom, you have the sections where the little token slots in. But these are some of my favorite minis, hands down, that I've seen Awakened Realms put out, and they put out so many nice miniatures.
Oh no, they're always.
On top of that, we have our Sundrop little heroes here. Oh, and by the way, just so everyone's aware, this is what's called Sundrop. So that means that they took the regular gray of normal models, and they just go ahead and wash it and tan it and get it stylized for you.
And it looks so nice.
The whole point is, if you're like me and you just don't have the time to ever paint your miniatures, I have Kingdom Death half painted, period. This lets you get them to the table fully painted, fully aesthetically pleasing, without having to worry about ever needing to paint them again.
It looks gorgeous. It's like a stone or something.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Wonderful.
It's beautiful.
Oh, by the way, look how easily that cycles from side to side.
I do have to say, the one issue with this, when we were playing, is it can be hard to read it sometimes. If you don't have lighting that is as clean as in this room, sometimes you just kind of pop it out in the front and keep an eye on it, and then put it back in.
I think the Sundrop really, really helps, though.
It does. It helps the contrast quite a bit. But that is just one thing to note. That can be hard to read because there's so much shadow directly underneath the figure.
Yeah.
But they're so pretty.
Yeah,
okay, this is a big bad that I've heard tales of, but I've never faced.
Who is this guy?
This guy, at a certain point in the game, starts stalking you.
Oh,
and
does
if you know anything about, four-handed men or four-armed men with spears and axes and a lantern,
they're very friendly and welcoming.
you probably don't want them stalking you. We have each of our custom little
Ooh, I think this is Bior?
meeples there. Yep.
Aha.
Here's another one.
Ooh.
I'm always scared I'm going to break models whenever I'm pulling them out.
A Lely. This is a Lely.
A Lely? Mm-hmm. Ooh, this is the guy with the scythe.
Ah, Arev.
Okay. Oh, here's an awesome guy with a snake and a staff. And then we have Nehemiah here as well.
What is this?
I don't know, but he looks fantastic.
Oh, is this Maggot?
I think it is.
Oh, that's Maggot.
Because he's a druid.
Yes.
We have a set of dice here.
Ooh.
What are the dice used for again?
Oh, very cool. So this determines the direction of when roaming monsters are trying to come and get you.
Gotcha.
And the numbered dice actually, I think, will be scenario or tale specific.
Gotcha. So when you need to be triggering a random kind of story event. So other than that, we have this insert that remains here with one of those little gel packets. I will set this down into the side. Oof! The side of this box is covered with beautiful artwork like we can expect.
Yep. It's so nice. The entire thing is such a beautiful production.
Okay.
Ooh, right. We have another box to get through.
Yeah. Ooh, we get a spoiler here on the back. This is going to be stacks and stacks of beautiful miniatures that all represent different big bads that you can face across the course of the game.
Are they Sundrop too? Ooh. Okay. Respectfully quiet?
Well, always. You always cut a scene.
Okay.
You just cut a scene. And then for the audience's sake, we agree to be respectfully quiet. So you can go ahead and rip it if you'd like.
That is good stuff.
Okay. Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon, Monsters of Avalon. This is all of the miniatures that you need. You don't need. This is expansion content.
Yeah.
But this is all the miniatures that you need to play in the game.
I love that they have a reference where everything goes.
That's so
Why
helpful.
doesn't everybody do this?
Because everyone is not Awakened Realms.
No, of course.
That's probably the point.
Right.
This is really... I don't know of another game that does this so far.
I've seen things similar to this, but I just really appreciate it whenever I have that guide.
This is really, really nice because I struggle a lot with figuring out where miniatures need to go back in and how they store. I love the trays, but the trays don't always show a good inlay.
And the good thing about this is that it's also showing you like the positioning. Sometimes you have like the guides where, everything goes here, but it's like, how does it go in there?
The other thing I want to point out is this shows the models without the Sundrop. So lighter, the classic kind of gray plastic that you might be used to.
Oh my god, look at the difference. Look at the difference.
And now we're going to show you the models.
Oh my lord.
With the Sundrop.
Okay, if I ever back another Awakening Realms campaign, which I very likely will, I am going with Sundrop.
You mean every one that comes out?
Yeah, I'm going with Sundrop.
I have everything.
Wow. What the hell? This is crazy. Jesus, it's so pretty.
We're just gonna pull out some horrific creatures.
What?
And
look at this boar wolf thing. It's so neat.
Ooh and awe at them a little bit.
I want everything Sundropped now. Oh my god.
The art direction and design of this game is
phenomenal.
Incredible.
Oh, wow.
And we're biased. Like, this is, I gotta be honest, like, Nemesis wasn't quite my speed. I'm not a big Aliens fan.
The minis were still
The minis were beautiful. But I am this type of lore fan above and beyond.
Look at this, man.
Look at this wolf with the bones in the ribcage, like, falling apart.
But this guy has 3 mouths.
This guy looks like he could have been a duck.
Maybe one day. We'll get our ducks where they're deserved.
People just don't include quackalopes in enough Holy crap.
That B-roll, guys. You're gonna love this.
Look at the way this guy's body hangs.
Oh, what?
He's holding him by the back of his skull.
Sorry, Menhir.
Look at the way his body just droops there.
Ooh, that's so neat. That's a really nice detail.
That's a good, like the figure, the posing on that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Oh man, what?
There's just so many things to pull out.
This is like the people, right? The villagers.
Okay, so
Oh, what? What is this thing?
yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and set this to the side.
There's leaves. You can see leaves.
We're gonna spend the next like minutes oohing and awing, and that doesn't help you all understand what's going on in this game.
That's crazy.
Let's pull out this last little thing before we go ahead and set up a kind of stylized campaign and break people down on what is going on in the Tainted Grail. I don't know what's in this. I shouldn't, because it's a surprise box.
Oh, what?
ISS Vanguard.
It's the next game. That looks gorgeous.
So wait, they often include previews of what is that? Do you know something about this that I don't?
No. That just looks awesome.
Okay.
What is inside?
This is so cool.
Like for Nemesis, they actually had a metal coin for Tainted Grail.
Okay.
From what I remember.
Yeah, that's true, right?
And some artwork, I think.
Because I remember this being a little metal piece. Okay.
So I wonder what they included for ISS Vanguard.
ISS Vanguard.
Oh my god, is it a full book? It's a full book. Okay, they have to be like super proud of this one to include a full book.
So what is it, like an art book?
I don't know. It seems like it.
All right, I'm leaving these down.
Oh man.
Can I have the knife?
There's even a website for it.
ISSVanguard.com. I haven't actually heard anything about this one yet.
I don't know, but it seems like it's gonna be a big thing.
Cool, because they just got finished with the Great Wall, right? That's been the one that's been active currently. I have, like, Etherfields is coming out.
Yes.
So this is the next thing that's coming.
Oh man.
Exploring space was always meant to be the greatest adventure in human history. What could be more exciting than traversing its vast frontier, than visiting the new planets, than meeting our galactic brothers and sisters? Today these dreams become a reality, and we have the honor to be the very first crew to follow the path into the unknown. We are humanity's vanguard.
Cool premise.
ISS Vanguard is a major new upcoming board game from Awakened Realms. It would take you on amazing adventures through the stars as the crew of the very first human spaceship with the capacity to reach other galaxies. You will explore new planets, gather resources, collect unknown life forms, and try to survive often hostile environments. It is a cooperative board game that will offer an unforgettable experience for 1 to 4 players. Explore the stars, develop your character, prepare an expedition.
Vanguard.
That box cover.
Yeah, it just immediately draws you into this whole idea of discovery. You know, so that is fantastic. Yeah, I told you, they're proud of this one.
They're
just showcasing that art. Ooh, my god.
I guess these are planets that you can land on and explore, right?
Yeah. Oh, that is so neat.
So you remember how I mentioned that little, reviewers commentary on the back of, Hey, Awakened Realms.
Hint, hint.
If you've got space on the back of your new game, for a humble little duck that loves games that allow me to explore the galaxies, that tell me a story and, lead with their art and theme and lore showcase.
We're just saying.
I'm just saying.
You know.
This is cool.
That's so neat.
This is iconic.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Like, it's beautiful. Whoever did the art, I mean,
is a master.
Yeah.
Master.
Incredible. What are the last things we have here? Because Fall of Avalon.
The Almanac.
Almanac of Avalon.
Ooh.
Oh, this is like the art direction book, right? So a little bit of lore and story, but also filled with sketches and concepts, and just little details about the world and lore. This is cool too. This is why I'm in love with this game, because stuff like this was developed. Like, this was developed in the process of creating the game. And then they thought, let's put it together in a book and give it to people because we have it, right? That's how stuff like this gets created.
Cool.
They started with sketches and lore and theme and world building in order to bring us this. And then what is this?
A sealed letter.
Dear backer, we're incredibly excited to present you the Tainted Grail. Cool. So this is a... okay, here we have ISS Vanguard going live sometime in 2020. Good to know it's not too late. It just happened to turn 2020. Very cool. I like this too. I like that they took the time to
Write a letter for everybody.
well, just say thank you. You know, they have a really active community base. You know, I know a lot of people here on the channel cross over. Like, there's a lot of crossover in terms of people that support KDM and the stuff that we're producing here and Awaken Realms. So, not a lot of games do send letters and do send thank yous. It always, to me, it always means something.
Oh yeah, of course.
So that they would keep that in mind.
Oh wow. Look at all these things.
So that has been a kind of unboxing of Awaken Realms. We're going to go ahead and run away. We're going to do a very quick setup here, just getting the components into the position that they would be when you're starting the game, and then we'll swing back in with the last few minutes of this channel being a discussion about how the game actually plays. Showing off some of the mechanics, just doing the final overview portion. So let's go ahead and set up, and it won't be any time for you guys.
Editing magic.
Okay, so we just took a little bit of time to break out the core game, you know, so we can show you and you can understand a little bit more about what this gameplay is like. In the center here, that's not quite how it works. In the center here, we have our map. This is the exploration map. Beautiful art and illustrations. There's event triggers. There's actions that you can do. We can't describe everything you can do, but in essence, each card has a icon and a number that attaches it to another card that reveals things beside it.
Yep.
Each card has a title. It has some symbols that tell you if you're going to have a nightmare or dream, basically what you're going to do if you remain in that location. It has special actions that you can take, whether you're exploring or dealing with a village or encountering a battle or climbing some great swords. And then it has a little bit of flavor text down there at the bottom, which is just absolutely beautiful. And then on the back, you have a even deeper illustration and some even deeper flavor text or narrative or story. The back triggers when you do something specific on a location, but it's such a cool feature.
Yeah, or you can just go to the book directly, because sometimes you're going to have minis on this and you're going to have other tokens, so you might not want to flip the card, but everything's accessible there.
Yeah, everything's accessible on the back of the card, in the core part of the card, or in the book itself. Just walls and walls of flavor text. It's beautiful. In the center here is our Menhir. This is the light that kind of guides your path. When one is lit, you have a token in the center there that starts counting down days. That's sort of a timer for the mechanic of the game.
Yeah.
It lights up everything adjacent to it. So these are currently visible. If we explore over into the side and we get another Menhir lit, it will do the same, just triggering and expanding.
Yeah, so you'll notice these smaller icons here. These icons represent that a Menhir is available. So if we were to flip this, it'll give us the rights to try and bring that into life.
That is the cost, what you have to pay in order to get this lit up.
And the crazy thing is, if you do not have a Menhir here, the Wyrdness has completely overtaken the side of the map, and it is never accessible to you.
So you never see beyond the reins of that. We have our character minis here that traverse this board, and then we have our player boards over here stocked with food, stocked with our little health meter, which is that pressure point that battles kind of up and down. Like we said, your terror can't go above those bars, and your energy can never go above it either. So if your terror goes above it, you start breaking down mentally, right? Like psychologically, you start to crumble. There's some really negative impacts to that. If I think there's actually a card text that says you're going insane.
Yes,
right? That's what you pull.
It's somewhere here.
Yeah, and then if your energy is what it takes to do actions throughout every turn or day of the game. Yeah. And so the lower your health gets as well, the harder it is for you to continue moving, continue the momentum, and cycling and searching.
So let's give an example of that. So as Maggot, I can move. Moving requires some energy. So you have I actually kind of like this about the game. you have universal tokens for everything. These cubes will represent your food, your wealth, your reputation, your experience, your trackers. Everything is used with these cubes.
And nice little slots so that you're not going to get them confused.
Yep.
You know.
So let's say that I want to move. For every movement, I would move my tracker down once.
Okay.
And right here it says combat trial. So if I wanted to activate that combat trial, I would move my tracker 4 spaces downwards, and now I am activating that ability. Notice though that I have now entered into the exhausted portion. So essentially what this means is that usually at the end of a round or at the end of a turn, this would go all the way back up to its starting value. However, when you're exhausted, it's only going to go up a few squares. So you're limited, you're weakened, you're not going to have as much power the next day. And here's the other cool thing, a visual example of what Jesse was saying. If I had my full energy and I got attacked by a vicious monster, some bad stuff happened, I lost some health points, and now I'm all the way down to 4, my energy immediately drops to that 4, and I can never go beyond it. So let's say that the next day I would rest, sure, my health would go up a little bit, but my energy would stay right at that cusp.
So let's continue with that theme. If you came over here, expended your energy, 4 of it, in order to do the combat trial, what do we do here in the book if we're not flipping that card?
Well, in this case, because it was like a direct action, there's no reference to the book here.
So in this location here that you're in the Warrior Fair, if you spent those 4 energy, you'd be able to do the bottom action. It's sort of a trigger, right? So immediately you'd lose 1 health and gain 1 experience once per day. So this is a way to use energy to sort of buff yourself up. That experience is going to collect down here in the bottom of your pool. You'll be able to trade that in for certain abilities and stuff throughout the course of the game. You can also do another action at, I believe, every location on the map, right? That action is going to be Explore, which is where you flip the card. Let's do it with the book reference here. So if you were to explore at the Warriors Fair, we'd open the book to the specific reference. So here is 103 up in
and
the
it's
corner.
right here in the top, right above the name.
Okay. So then we'll resolve whatever is here in the book. So always at the top, there's going to be an introductory text, right? A thing that sets the foundation. And then sort of choose your own adventure from that point on. The sea of tents bustles with the sounds of combat and haggling. Though you can't help but notice that even this festival has grown smaller since last year. It's a strange place. On one side, lords and rich merchants from all over the island. On the other, young men trying to prove themselves in combat and earn a contract, or a rare lone warrior looking for a new master. You could either learn about Kunachit's champions and their expedition, you could take part in a grand tournament, you could explore the city of tents, or you could buy a contract and try to sell it for a profit, or you could leave.
And the cool thing about this is that certain actions or paths require keywords that you must accumulate throughout your adventure. So for example, that take part in the tournament, if you had a particular stat, something completely different would happen. So there's a lot of nuance here and so many different paths to take.
So what are you going to do?
We're going to leave that for gameplay.
Oh.
I know.
But
Soon though. Right? Very soon? It's gonna happen.
Okay.
And that is how you would explore. You would go through that book, and the book will give you your termination point, right?
There's just so much story contained in this.
Yeah, there's
and
a lot.
It chains and it stacks, and the adventure is something you get to script along the way. The other main thing, the big feature I want to show people is going to be the combat system. Like I said earlier, it can be a little confusing the very first time you deal with it, but after that it creates this really interesting deck-building narrative. I love what they've done with this. It's probably, outside of the narrative and the story, it's probably the most complex part of the game.
Yes, 100%.
But they did a fantastic job at that complexity.
Yeah.
And they could have messed this one up.
Yeah, no, it was very easy to ruin.
The first time you see it, you're like, oh, this could be bad. And then you figure it out and you're like, all right, this is pretty good. So with combat, each one of your cards is going to have a series of icons up and down this side. Those relate to your own experience and abilities. In order to chain and trigger and place more cards in a sequence of events, so imagine someone was actually battling. They'd swing, reposition, stab forward, maybe stumble. You need to not only have the experience, but cards that chain and trigger. There's little lightning bolt symbols that allow you to connect things. You can also expend magic in certain instances to get extra power and damage. And then down here at the bottom is going to be multipliers or modifiers that give you more cards into your hand times the amount of damage you're doing. That's an overview. Jan, teach us the actual setup that you have displayed here.
So right now this is a very inefficient setup, so I'm going to take these cards back and let's walk through it one step at a time. So the way the combat works is actually by playing cards every turn. Usually you're just going to be able to play one card, but there's ways of you to extend that by using thunderbolts and different things. What you're trying to do is chain stuff.
Yeah.
And the more things you chain and the way that you efficiently chain that, you're going to be able to do more damage and do more interesting things as the game progresses. So it's really fascinating how it happens.
So this here could be a combat system where you see kind of these music notes in a way that are all just linking and connecting to each other. Different abilities and experience you have trigger different effects, like doing more damage, drawing more cards, and modifying those, so doing 2 times as much damage or something along those lines. The real interesting thing, though, the fascinating part is you always play one card for free. That's your action. And then you need to have a hand or a deck that's built in a way that allows you to connect and link and start cycling your actions. Because if you play one card at a time,
you're going to get scrapped.
Really
quickly.
Really quickly.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out the most efficient way to solve this puzzle and do as much within the little single turn you have before your opponent acts.
Yeah, and that sometimes means holding back and letting the abilities on your cards activate to try and get something stronger for the next turn.
Yeah.
So it's all about really combo building and preparing for that perfect strike.
Well, and on top of that, each one of your creatures that you're facing have their own unique little AI system as well, usually based off of how much damage they have or, you know, what you've just triggered, what you've affected them. So they have a reaction to your attack. Some of them, if you do 4 damage at a single turn, will heal 3 of it immediately. So you only want to do 1 or 2 or 10. Like, there's a neat little give and take and challenge that you're solving this puzzle in the context of a unique challenge every single time. And then on top of that, you have a very similar system or thought process when it comes to your diplomacy. The same sequencing and chaining, but instead of trying to bring someone's health down to 0 or getting them to run away, instead you're trying to convince or deceive a certain society of people, which is such a unique trait in itself.
And there's a completely different set of cards that all do different things, and it's just so well thought out.
You have
and it works
a diplomacy
very well.
hand, you have a combat hand. They're each unique decks unto themselves. It's just such a neat system.
It's very elegant. I think it works very well, and it's fun. It's fun to try and figure out that puzzle.
So, like I've said, this is not going to be the last video of the Tainted Grail.
No way.
We have... It can be really hard to get big box games to the table, but we're working on a strategy that brings more and more of them to the channel here. Whether some of these are solo plays, sometimes it'll be like dedicated, you know, sit down and play for 10 hours in front of the camera so that we have the content to bring. We're looking at ways to get this to the table as quickly and efficiently as possible while still keeping our standards as high as they are. I'm so excited about this game. I don't know. I mean, I'm a massive Kingdom Death fan. I think this might be the only game outside of that I am as excited for as I am. Like, the first playthrough, I left wanting to get it to the table again.
It's probably because it has elements of Kingdom Death in it, you know, in terms of its lore.
I just
and
like
theme.
stories, Jan.
I know.
I just want to be told. You rest a while in the shade of titanic swords, their rusty smell causing your nose to tingle.
We're going to get to that,
yards
Jesse.
away, an elder smith coils chipping at the jagged edge of a giant weapon.
They have to go.
The hammer he uses breaks apart this ancient steel seems very
strange.
Guys,
I'm so sorry.
As he does,
Jesse
the sound
seems
it makes.
to be lost in this game. But we're going to give him the chance to explore it to its very, very fullest potential. But with that being said, thank you so very much for tuning in to Quackalope today. We're going to sign off so that you can go and do your stuff. So, Jesse, you want to take us out, or are you still too enraptured with Tainted Grail here?
It doesn't take long before you meet some island merchants who saw a party like the one you're looking for on the road.
Don't forget to do the important thing.
3 weeks
go out and
ago,
play some games.
It appeared the heroes
We'll catch you guys next time.
to find the entrance
Bye.
to the cursed ruins of the Fort Level close this.